Well, good weekend, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your weekend edition of your Metal Market Wrap-Up. And this wrap-up is for Friday, the 12th of July, 2024. Now, I want to remind everybody, this coming week, I will be out on vacation. So I'll be around, but I'm just not going to be here that I can work with everybody from. So in doing so, don't look for these regular morning updates that I do with the morning flash video or the evening. If I get time to do it, I'll put them out. And if you know anything about me, I'm a workaholic, so I always have a computer with me. And if I get bored on vacation, it gives me a break and I go back, look at the market, so that when I come back, I'm sharp anyways. It's not like I were away, but I'm certainly not going to spend time writing reports as I do, doing special updates and other things. Time for a bit of a break. And I've been taking that off. Notice we haven't done a webinar in a while. Same thing. I like to save my energy in the summer, and then come the fall, we go right back into everything. So in the metal markets, the gold market just hanging in here, but doing well. I am very friendly gold going forward. I think that the U.S. is we're on the verge, whatever that word means. Is it September, November, December, where the Fed will try to get ahead of the curve and start cutting interest rates? That doesn't mean the economy's weak. Again, they're going to try to get ahead of the curve. They're going to anticipate at some point that they see the CPI weakening, that they see labor weakening. I didn't say getting weak, weakening, and they want to keep everything relatively strong. Should they do it, or should they do it in any manner, or could they do it? Well, number one, they could do it. Should they do it now? Absolutely not. I know that there's people saying, we're in July, they're going to do it this month. I'll be very surprised. There's nothing that weak, and I think today was the nail in the coffin. PPI came in strong. You didn't get a trifecta of labor, CPI, and PPI all down. And I think the stock market responded in a pretty bullish way. Now, there are problems in this stock market. You're getting such volatile moves, 500-point move in the Dow. 400-point move for all purposes in the S&P. Let me say it the correct way. 100-point move in the S&P. It's 90 basically. I said 4. I was wrong. Because there's so many 4s coming at you. Here you have practically a 400-point move, and here you had a 40-point move in the Russell. Part of this is the thin market of the time of the year. Okay, we do get thinner. Remember, in Europe, a lot of people start going away on vacation for the whole month of August. That's been a tradition. You're going to see that. I'm taking off. Other A-League traders, as I'll call them, are taking off. That doesn't mean I'm one, but I like to think I'm pretty good. And you get thinner markets. It's just the nature of the beast at this time of year. We're looking at energy slip a little bit. We're looking at the dollar, which certainly impacts what the metals are doing, down hard from where it just was. And we're pushing the 110 area for all purposes in the euro. I was looking this week to get up. As you know, I said, I think the pound will get near the 130. I agreed with the Goldman call on that. They did it for over a 2-week period. I thought it would happen literally right after the election in the UK. And you hit 129.97 today. So for all purposes, we're there. Now, remember, when we look at the weekly chart, it's different. We're not looking at the daily, a bit longer. And I always start off with the monthly for you. So in the monthly gold, just take a look. You're at 24.20. You still see this market going substantially higher. Yeah, I want to use the word substantially in there. I think you've got big move ahead of you because I think the headwinds are being removed. And I think inflation will hang around for a bit here. Also, there'll be all the uncertainty of the U.S. election. What does Donald Trump mean? What does Biden mean in it? Is Biden going to be out at any point? I doubt that he'll be out until he has to be out or forced out, period. All right, do I think he's capable? I've said that. I think he's a good fellow. I think he's done what he had to do while he was president, but he's 81 and it shows, and he'll be over 85 at the end of this next term. No, too old. Period, okay? I have gray hair. It's easy for an older guy to say no. okay? And that's how it should be. But I'm also one that believes in, for you younger people out there, say this and talk to people, that we don't need professional politicians. 2 terms, 3 terms, whatever. We don't need 10-term people. Number 2, age. We want them to be in tune with the economy. We don't want to get rid of age for the smartness that it carries with you. But there is a number. Now, we all live longer. Is that number 75? Is it 70? I don't know. You'll figure that out. But there is a point there. And certainly cognitive tests, all right? Biden is not the only one that I think needs a test. Do you remember we had one of the gentlemen, a Republican, that froze as he was talking? Now, they say it was medical. Okay. I don't think so. All right. So as we're up here, you have a triple top area in gold. Doesn't mean you can't go through it, but you're into a triple area there on a monthly basis. That's very important. When we look at the weekly chart, you're in an area we've been at before, and it's given the market trouble. I happen to believe you're going to break out of that area in due course and move on to the next level to the upside. The trend right now is up with higher lows, higher highs. You're over the 18-week average. So what would make me wrong in my thinking? Well, getting back under and closing under probably right here. 2298 would throw a wrench in my thinking. Now, that's pretty far from where you're at 2420, but on a weekly chart, you would have to go back to the drawing table. Where do I think the support is? If you've pulled back to it, the 2323 level, or wherever the 18-week average comes in, it will be higher next week. And I think the resistance will be the upper Bollinger Band, currently at 2471. So I definitely have targets that are higher. That's the first thing. The next thing is you corrected the momentum, got away from being overbought. Now momentum's pointing up, but unfortunately on the weekly chart, you're right back into overbought. If you define, as I do, an overbought number is any number over 70, and you are certainly there. When we look at the gold-silver ratio, as long as you're under the 18-week average of closes on an overall basis, not day by day, overall basis is a weekly chart, the market favors the silver. If you take out this high back here, that could be a problem, and you might want to be taking silver, losing to gold and getting back towards 81, but it hasn't done that yet. When we look at the silver chart, like gold, it's in an uptrend, higher lows, higher highs. It too is overbought. The resistance is the upper band, but it hit it here and couldn't do anything with it. So silver's got to prove that it's got more in it. On pullbacks, wherever the 18-day average comes in, it's going to be important to the market. The last break low was 28.58. You're at 28.52. When we reopen on Sunday, you're going to drop one of these numbers back here from 18 weeks ago and add one. You're going to raise that average. It could easily be right up there. Last week, for example, the average was 28.15. The week before, 27.69. So let's assume it's 40 cents just for the sake of discussion. That'll put it around 28.90 for the support, which will be above this 25.58 level. In the copper market, if copper can get itself up and over 468 again, you do open the door for up here. Currently, here's the pattern. You can argue you have higher lows, but you can't argue you have higher highs. With the current pattern, you have a lower high, higher lows. You got to break out of this. That's why I say if you can get over on a closing basis, 468, you might be able to get yourself into that $5 level again. In the platinum market, it's a similar type chart. The trend is up. You have this big up move. The market cannot afford to get under, not this week, but last week's low. If that is taken out, you do damage to the chart and probably coming back to 979. If you don't take that out, you're on the bullish bias, and one of the potential targets lies at the 1081 plus level. In the dollar index, for the first time here, I'm saying bearish. Lower highs, lower lows. This is not a daily chart. It's a weekly chart. To convert and really make the market very bearish, you need the 18-week average to crisscross again under the green, the 100. It's not there. It's 25 cents away basically right now, but you want to keep your eye on that. But once it does it, I think you put into play the lower Bollinger Band, if not lower numbers. Why? Because we're looking at other economies already having cut interest rates, and they're not going to be scared to cut again now that they've seen the CPI and the weak labor numbers. Get another set like that, and they're going to get more confident. They'll be ahead of the U.S. when they began cutting to turn their economies and create, if you will, spurring of their economy on. We're just debating, could we do that or not? Those are the things to watch. Plus, we have a lot weighing on the dollar, none of it friendly in either of these two gentlemen running for the presidency winning. I mean, that's just how it really is. You know, if you're an American, you look at this is what we can muster up. Forget politics. I do think gentlemen should be younger to be president. That's my point here. Qualified, of course, but I think youth is very important. All right. So that's basically where I see us at this point. So with that, I want to remind you while I'm gone, you can take advantage of everything we have to offer in our free offerings. Now, at the end of the page of iraepstein.com free offers, you sign up right by putting in the information. You can write us any messages you have. We typically get that info out to you within 48 hours. You'll see on the page a blue area that you click that looks just like that. That's select that offer. So any of the offers you put in tells us the list. We get them together. We email them to you, and we turn your selections on. It could be the charting software you see here, access to our 2 trading platforms, by the way, our QT Mobile. I use it. There isn't a day I don't use it extensively in watching markets and charts. Yes, we built it so you can actually put a lot of studies on it and use it. I've seen so many, and I have maybe 5 different Apple. I have an Apple apps from different brokerage companies, many of them. And ours, by far, for what I do, is the best. I can read them. The others are not legible, and some of them do it in such ways that I don't understand what they're trying to do, but it's all there. Our seasonality charts, our price counts, our free courses in the Arun indicator, pivot points, they're all there for you to work with. So I'm Ira Epstein. Sign up, and that's what it says right there. Go to iraepstein.com free offers, or move your cursor to the top there, give it a click, and you'll be there. Again, I'm not going to have a regular schedule of any type this week, but I will be with everybody the week after as I return from my very short vacation. You take care.